There you go.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to our Team Unlimited Elevation Call. We're so excited that you're here this evening. This is honestly really fun for us because we get to see beautiful faces that we don't really see all the time. And we had a lot of things going on this week, several of which we're going to share with you guys this evening.
A lot of good stuff.
Let me just share so I can stop my screen share. I want to share a video with you guys. You may have seen it, you may not have, but this is something that's very special to us.
Yeah, so here's the intro to this video. So many of you all know that Zalise for Lisa, and really for everyone on this call, started with a holistic dentist that reached out to Lisa 3.5 going on 4 years ago. In, I guess, November will be 4 years coming up. And Lisa was not interested at all in what he had to say about CBD because she thought it was marijuana. She had no interest in it at all. And he kind of pressed her and said, look, you're a nurse, you're educated. I know you're really smart. We've done some business together in nutrition. I know that you need to know about this. Lisa goes, I don't want anything to do with this. And yet she continued to be open to the conversation. And at some point, the conversation turned to brain health issues that this could help with potentially. Dr. Gant had no idea that Lisa had a son who had, really had some really struggles with brain health issues and had tried pharmaceuticals and many things. And Nate is just an awesome young man, great, huge heart, but with his brain health issues, pharmaceutical approach and the many different things they've done for several years really left him pretty much dysfunctional as far as the ability to earn income, to work, to be a contributor. He was just barely surviving. And so life-changing result for Nate when he took his first 3 days doses of Ultracell. This was 4 years ago. Very quickly, Lisa realized I need to go find out even more about this. And so she began to share the story. And then eventually, as many of you know, Nate came really in sharing with Lisa, just said, let's do this together. But really it was Lisa telling their story is what built this business initially. Right. Her sharing the story. Nate's part was he just kept taking the product. That was about it, right?
Well, he actually helped in the early meetings when we started.
That's right.
He and Brandy both were very instrumental in helping us. We did it together.
Doing what? Setting up?
Setting up. Brandy did a lot of the kind of recognition banners, and she did the front desk when we first started in Evansville, Indiana.
So eventually, though, we discovered that Nate really had a knack and love for doing graphic design. He has kind of developed his own business a little bit. And so we rely on him to post these meetings from every Sunday night on YouTube. He's the one that does that for us. Well, this week, he sent us a little video that he had done without us knowing. And he did this from his phone. He made this on his phone. And I'm like, it brought tears to my eyes. And I said, we need to use this. So this is now the new introduction to the elevation call. See, hopefully y'all can see and hear it. So what is elevation call? Elevation call is Hal and Lisa's Sunday night training that we've been doing for over 3.5 years. And then when we fell in love and started building this business together, started doing Zoom meetings and really enjoyed Sunday night Zoom. So it's expanded and grown, but it's always stayed with the main purpose. And that is to focus on elevating your business. It used to be called the Jeep call because one of the focus points of business growth with Zalise is earning your Jeep and then helping the members on your team to earn their Jeep as well. So the more Jeeps that you have in your team, the more successful you are in Zalise. And the more income that you earn personally, but also success is based on paying it forward to help others. It's all about elevation. So there you have it. There you have it. So, we just watched that together and we're just sitting there with our mouths open, because we didn't ask him to do it. He went into some of our elevation calls from the past, pulled my voice off of those, then put music and video together with it, blended together, and created, I think, a really beautiful and short message about what we're trying to do here on Sunday night. And so we want you to use this as time goes forward to share it with your team. Maybe some of you want to reach out to your team that hasn't been involved in our Sunday night calls, but that tool is your tool that Nate created for you to build your team. And if you find this Sunday night valuable, you show up for it. But for many of your team members, they don't understand why they would be good for them to prioritize this.
And you're not going to like this word.
Uh-oh. Hang on a second. There's no telling what's
failure. Now here's the hitch.
Hang on a second, guys.
Fail. Insecure. Now, composers aren't arrogant, especially when we're talking about our music. But the fact is, the arrogance is generally hiding great.
Can you guys hear us? Okay, perfect.
You can hear us?
Yeah. So I just shut that off.
Okay, good.
So anyway,
All right.
you can tell that we have limitations in technology.
Very much.
But here's two things I wanted to say. You know, we all start this business for a specific why. And my why was Nate and his, you know, just his well-being, and then seeing the results with the product and his body. So to have 3.5 years later, to have something beautiful, just show his progress and his healing is just a beautiful thing for a mom. And I think many of you guys can relate to that. The second thing is just, we actually have a YouTube channel. It's called Team Unlimited Live, and you have access to all of our elevation calls. We've had great content, and thanks to so many of you guys who participate in that. This call will also be great content because this is our red zone, and we're going to have Hal share with us the top 25, the results of the top 25.
Yeah, so when we talk about red zone, the month in Zalise is broken down into white, blue, and red zone, the last 10 days of the month of the red zone. And during that time, if you understand a bit about how this business works, you're running for your next rank, or at least to hit the rank you've hit before, because that impacts your income. So the red zone is kind of closing out the month, running toward your rank. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that here tonight, because that's a teaching point for us a little bit later. But the top 25 leaderboard up to this point in the month of July, we have 4 people from our team on the leaderboard. And it just so happens that number 23 in the top 25 this month right now at the top is at 23 is Hal and Lisa. So we're still working, we're still enrolling people, we're still sharing the story. And so that's that. Number 14 is Cheryl Letch out of Texas. That's in the, what is the name of that town? I forget where all those people are. Tyler. Yeah. Tyler. I'm just kidding. I knew it. Anyway, so that's at number 14. And then Dr. Susan Welch. And I have to say, this is Susan and Brian, though Brian won't take any credit for it. You know, it's Susan and Brian Welch.
And they're driving their amazing
We had 2
RV.
great meetings with them down in Florida on our way on our vacation. They got a lot of people in front of us in the meeting. Brian actually did the presentation all by himself there when we went to watch. And it was really nice for us. Been driving all day. We got to meet their people, but Brian did a great job in presenting, and together they have a great display in their home with the product. So anyway, that was really good.
And also, I mean, Susan and Brian have done a great job with follow-up and getting people actually enrolled, which is sometimes the hardest part.
That's the real commitment when it comes to, you know, the meetings are easy compared to the invite and the follow-up, guys. The meeting's the easiest thing you'll ever do in this business. It's inviting people and following up is the challenge. And so really proud of them. Now, at number 2 in all of Zalise is a newcomer to our team that we have fallen in love with, sponsored by Dr. Lisa Hall. But that is at number 2 in all of Zalise is Mercy Gitobu. Is that how we say it? I think
we'll have Mercy
will
correct
tell
us.
us. Yeah, we get that wrong. But she's out in California. Beautiful, beautiful woman, beautiful soul. I love her just from a distance. Her sweet, but very strong spirit is what's driving her to the top. And guys, I'm telling you, this person's moving and helping a lot of people. And we're going to hear a little bit from her and Lisa a little bit later in the call.
And one of the things that we love to do with Elevation Call is catch our team doing amazing things, doing things really, really well. And we use those as teaching tools for all of us. I mean, I learn from you guys. Hal and I both really learn a lot. And tonight we have a celebration and just a huge shout out to a couple who have really taken on a huge responsibility to host our CEO at his first meeting in Atlanta.
First meeting. Atlanta is such a huge place. There's been a number of ambassadors in Atlanta, but it's just never worked out prior to the pandemic for Stephen to get there schedule wise. We've been there, but to actually host Stephen on a Sunday afternoon in anywhere in Atlanta, this is the first time ever. So Kristin and Eric, I'm going to have you guys come to the line. When we told you that we're coming through, Stephen may be coming through sometime this summer. We found out that he was coming there with his daughter's basketball team and a tournament there. Would you be interested in hosting? And they said, absolutely, 100%. And
they said, absolutely, without one person confirmed.
Yeah, they had nobody really there to make it happen. But Stephen says Atlanta's going to be huge in the sense of the business. Such a huge place to get from point to point in Atlanta, which is really one of the challenges, because it can take you 2 hours easily to drive anywhere around there. Yeah. But they say, we'll take it on, we'll do it. They have been so enthusiastic. They've learned a lot of things. So I just want them to come on for a minute and talk a little bit. Guys, can you hear us, and can you unmute yourselves?
Yeah, we're good to go.
There they are. So I know these are very familiar faces to any of you guys who have been on our team for very long. So it's Eric and Kristin. Where do you guys live exactly?
We're in Decatur, Georgia.
You're going to have to unmute.
Oh, you know what?
Wait a minute. Hang on. That's on our end, I think.
Attraction is matching you up for this.
Have y'all been hearing that in the background the whole time?
No.
Hang on just one second, guys. We've got something running on our computer, so hold just 1 minute.
Oh, you got Abraham Hicks running on.
I know, that's funny. Okay, your turn, guys.
That's hilarious.
I know.
Abraham
right now.
Not today.
Okay. Well, Eric says I'm up. Thank you. And thank you, Hal and Lisa, for the opportunity. And I definitely want to thank my husband for all the support and coming along and jumping in this and hitching himself to the same wagon, because, you know, whether it's one person or two people, the more the merrier, and we are making an impact. And I want to thank Stephen too. I mean, wow, to have him here was such an honor. We said yes, like you said, without anybody. And I will just say that, you know, I went to Indiana the week before, so it was a great opportunity to start this in motion. And with that, just to have the tools in place, because it does take some effort to put together a professional presentation as far as a little bit of organization. So I just want to thank everybody who was a part of supporting that and helping make that happen as well.
So I want to say that Kristin really rose to the occasion. She said, Eric, we're going to do this. And I said, okay. and some of us know that I'm a little bit reserved. And I said, okay, because it's time to put up or shut up. And I so relate to Brian Welch, really relate to him and his growth and experience. It's like, if he can do it, I can do it. And so I made some calls. I did a lot of texting. I contacted more people than I ever knew. I decided that there's some friendships that are maybe no longer as important to me as they can be, because, you know, it's interesting what happens when you invite. And we got some confirmations, and we went through the whole spectrum. We got confirmations. We had people saying yes and then backing out yesterday and backing out this morning. And then we had some other teams ask if they could come in and come play with us, and we said yes. And we had a decent showing. And I've been hearing it over and over that in person makes a difference, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Out of the 4 people, I think that we had a couple, but we have 2 yeses and we need to do a little bit more research. And, you know, of course, those are yeses today, and we believe that there'll be signups in the near future. So it changed my whole perspective. And the other thing that I saw was how organized Kristin can actually be when it comes to putting these events together, and the effort that it does take. It takes some effort, but being, we had a professional splash and look, but it's also because of our teammates around us who may not be directly in our line. That some cross line brought some things, and it's to help display that type of thing. So the team effort of this whole company is what is really amazing.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And you know what Stephen said to us? He said, you know, he was checking out and saying, hey, you know, I'm flying back. Great job, great showing. This is an enormous market, but a great start. And he said, tell everyone to go out and start with your own team and re-sponsor everyone again, because this pandemic has put people almost just in a freeze mode. And so we start with kind of who's still using product, and we re-sponsor them, and then we go create new ones.
So in a way, Eric and Kristin, you know, in a way, we kind of, not that we directly sponsored you, but all along the way in our working with you, a part of what your whole team above you has done is helped you re-sponsor yourselves at a higher level, a higher commitment. And, you know, you guys have been saying, we were going to get here, we're going to start building this thing. I mean, really building it, like making commitments, making decisions, stepping outside of our comfort zone, organizing ourselves, very focused direction. And when the opportunity came to just simply say, hey, Stephen's coming to Atlanta, he wants a place to have a meeting, will you do it? Your response was not, oh, let me think about it. Maybe we can work it out. Your response was, absolutely, we will do it. We will make it happen no matter what. And then I said to you, it's a basketball tournament that he's doing with his daughter. We don't know the schedule. We don't know the details. We can't give you that. It may be last minute. He may get there late. And Kristin said, I don't care if he doesn't show up. We're going to do the meeting with or without him. We're moving this forward. Something to that effect. And so that's kind of what happened. You put it on the calendar, and Stephen did show up. He was about 20 minutes late, 10 minutes, something, but that's okay. You know, it was awesome. And we heard great response from him, from you guys. And that's what you have to do. Go into action. Go into that kind of action. So
proud of you guys. I just wanted to give you all a public recognition for really taking very strong action, having the mindset to do it, you know, despite fear, you know, and not really knowing exactly how it would turn out. So we're going to give you a big Zoom applause.
This is several weeks in a row now that we've been able to recognize our team for people stepping up, whether it's Stephen coming, us coming, your upline coming, or you just getting out and taking the steps yourself to show the plan. People taking action is what we recognize. Showing up for a call, we appreciate it, but it's the taking action for you to build your business that's going to build your business, and that we can recognize for you. So anyway, that's that.
So thank you guys for sharing with us. And we're going to just kind of switch gears just a minute, because this is the end of the month. But for Mercy, it was the end of her fast track yesterday. And this is just such a beautiful story. And I want you guys, just for a moment, I want you to pretend that you're Lisa Hall and that you sponsored Mercy. And Mercy is going to come to the line. I'm going to have her share with you guys in a moment, as soon as I'm going to have Hal talk about what is fast track and explain to us, how does somebody get to city during their fast track?
Or any rank.
Or any rank, really.
All right. So this might be a time you want to kind of pay attention. I'm going to try to slow it down and yet cover this quickly. So when you enroll, or someone on your team enrolls with Zalise, there's a clock that starts ticking that day. And the way Stephen has designed this is that every month we can earn through new signups, the auto ship program. We get business volume, or BV, that accumulates to reach certain numbers that are rank numbers, like 1,000 for community ambassador, 3,000 for city ambassador. The next big step is area ambassador. And we've had a couple of new Jeeps earned recently at 10,000 BV. That's a rank. Then regional ambassador, where health insurance starts kicking in, and so forth. So the clock starts ticking for what we call it, Stephen, and we all call the fast track period. And that's your first 30 days in the business. Of course, if you don't hit your ranks in the first 30 days, your clock starts the first of the next month. Okay. But when you first start in the business, if you choose to run fast, you not only get the next 30 days from the day you start, but if there's some more days added, like for you start in the end of your 30 days ends on a Tuesday, the company's clock doesn't stop for you till the next Saturday. So for example, in your fast track, they give you a few extra days to reach your rank. And so during that fast track period, we really try to help people who want to run fast to whatever rank they're getting close to make that rank. So that's called the fast track period. And I just want to be clear, if you don't hit it, the next month you can hit the next rank. And that's always the way it is. Each month starts all over. But the fast track period gives you a few extra days toward the following Saturday. So I'm telling you all that to say that when people, like I did when I got started, I wanted to earn my Jeep in my first 30 days. I wanted to earn it in the fast track. So, I mean, Lisa did it. I said, if she can do it, I can do it. So I'm like, if she'll teach me and help me, I will get there.
And that's a key point, because usually when you just enroll somebody, they don't even know how to get in their back office. They don't, they just don't have an orientation yet. So if somebody's going to hit a rank in their fast track, it is a team effort.
Yeah, they need help from the people that are on their team, and usually multiple people on their team upline that can help them get there. And so we had this month, Mercy, who we just recognized as number 2 on the leaderboard, who in her fast track, with the help of her sponsor, Dr. Lisa Hall, hit City Ambassador. And I will tell you, it's a big deal to hit City Ambassador with Zalise these days, coming out of the pandemic. Still, people are having a hard time getting face-to-face. I told Lisa, hitting City in your first 30 days is like hitting area.
Right.
When I got in, especially coming out of the pandemic, it's tougher.
The other thing is that Mercy is starting in a whole new market, that she's not in Evansville, Indiana. She's not in a place that has an infrastructure developed for Zalise. And that's why, you guys just in your mind, you just sponsored this amazing person. Mercy, come to the line and tell us how did you do it? How did you hit City in your first 30 days?
Well, thank you so much for this time. But I have to say, that working with, it's a partnership. You can never do this on your own and alone.
Mercy, I hope it's not our internet. Let's see.
No, we're good.
She's frozen here. Can
Maybe
you guys
have Lisa step in and talk for a minute about what she did while her screen's
Hey,
frozen.
Lisa Hall, can you hear us?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, it looks like Mercy's having some frozen screen there. Can you help us out and just tell us a little bit about how you and Mercy were able to hit that target?
I think the most important thing is first having that willing partner, like Mercy just mentioned. And not only, you both have to be willing to hit the ground running and not stop for the whole entire time. It's a fairly huge goal to make. And so I think the most important thing is you get in action, you focus, you're consistent, your teamwork. And the most important thing for Mercy was she was teachable and coachable. It didn't matter how crazy it seemed to her, what I suggested she do, she did it. And, she had some really tough, really traumatic events happen in her family right in the middle of her month. And, most people that would have knocked them out and they would have been done, right? But she took a few days to kind of get things back together, hit the ground running, and we were running until last night. I think we finally finished up sometime after 7 Pacific time, and she had to be done by midnight, but she never quit. She was at a birthday party for her family last night that, had been scheduled for a long time, and she's back in the bedroom and we're on the computer doing meetings still. And I think that, the most important thing is that, you just have to work in all out action. You just can't stop, and you have to focus, and you have to be consistent. And that's what Mercy did. I mean, we talked to over 30 people, and I've forgotten the numbers. I think we're around 8 or 9 signed up, but those other people that we talked to, they haven't gone anywhere. They just need more follow-up. When I joined the business, it took me, I first introduced to a business in November, and it took until March for me to sign up. Everybody's different. Sometimes you'll have that person that signs up the first day, and sometimes that you have that person you just have to follow up. So we have so much follow up. I mean, I can see her, she's just not going to stop. We can just drive her to area. I'm so disappointed that she was having those troubles with her internet, because you guys, she's an amazing person. We use social proof every single day. It's essential. Those 3-way calls, testimonials, videos from other people, because I'm brand new in the business too. I don't have a lot of that. So I use Lisa and Hal's story. I use Jenny's story, and Mercy she did exactly what I said. She just got me on the phone with people. We talked and built a relationship first. That's number one. If you just go out and vomit on people, it's never going to happen. But if you learn about them, they'll tell you everything about them that tells you why they need these products and need to be in this business.
Awesome.
And we did that and just listened and listened and listened. And then sometimes it was on the same meeting, sometimes it was on another meeting before we actually showed the plan, but then we just showed the plan to everybody. It didn't matter who it was. And some people came in just wanting to use product, but she's got 4 tremendous business builders that I think are just going to rock it, just like Mercy did. One of them's on the call tonight with us, I believe. Frida's on here. She's an amazing young lady from San Francisco. I just so admire her and Mercy and everything that they've done. Mercy's back. I'd like for her to talk.
Let's let Mercy back.
Mercy, can you hear us?
Thank you, Lisa. We may return.
I have no idea what happened. I was like,
no
idea.
I
know. I didn't even do. But Lisa, I did hear the part that Lisa spoke, and I was just gonna talk about how we, she helped me learn how to build relationships. And one good example, because first I'm not patient. I'm a very, very impatient person, and she's working with me on that. And Lisa doesn't mix her words when she tells you, like she says as it is. So I'm working on that, my patience a lot. So sometimes I just wanna, when I get on a call with someone, I just want them to sign up. Like, why are we wasting time? And Lisa says, no. Why do we need to meet again? And she's like, you have to build relationship with people. You have to understand where they're, where they are, where they're coming from. And I'm like, Lisa, come on. We're like, a good example is yesterday. I signed up a gold pack yesterday, but this lady we spoke to like 2 days before, and to me, she was ready to sign up. And I'm looking, and I'm waiting for Lisa to ask, are you ready to sign up? And she's like, so when do you want to meet next time? I'm like, what is she talking about? Like, where are we asking her to meet again? And then I remember, oh yeah, we have to build relationship, because this was for my cold market. So I didn't know this woman before. So she's teaching me to learn to build relationships with these people so they can trust me, trust the company, and see. So instead of me just rushing, like, oh, I just want you to sign you up, it's I want to know you, and I want to know what are your needs so I can be able to help you. So that has been a true lesson for me, to be honest. And so when I look back, and then we got back on the call yesterday and we signed up with a gold pack. And I know my husband said, oh, I wish everyone signs up as quickly as that girl did. And I said, oh no, it was not quickly. Like you have no idea, like the work that Lisa put behind the scenes before she signed up. And I mean, it seemed like quickly, because on the third time, it seemed quickly, because at that time we got on the call and Lisa was like, do you have any more questions? Do you have anything that you want us to answer? Are you ready to do this? And I'm like, Lisa, she's been ready since the first call, but but I know, like, I am learning now that that's what it takes. It takes to build that relationship with people. It's so important, because you don't want to get on a call and appear that all you want to do is sign this person up without getting to know them. And sometimes Lisa will tell me, you might find someone that is interested, but this is not a good fit for them, or you are not a good fit to train them. And and we've done that before. She says, we're gonna wait on this person. We're gonna wait up to follow up on this person. So I am learning so much about myself, learning so much on what I need to change as a person, because I'll be talking to her and she'll ask me, why did you follow up on so-and-so? And I said, I don't think they'll do this. And she goes, stop judging. You're prejudging. You're making a decision for people. Let those people make a decision for themselves, whether they want to do it. And most of the time I've been wrong, because we'll get on a call with them. They're like, yeah, I would love to try this product. I'm like, oh, oops. I thought you're not going to be interested. So that has been one thing, that building that relationship has been so key. And not being in a hurry, like, just don't rush people, let people make, I remember one of the guys that I signed up earlier, and now he wants to upgrade to a gold pack. He said the reason why he's doing it is how we treated him. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, you didn't rush me. You just told me to take your time. And Dr. Lisa didn't rush anything at all. I was like, wow, it does work. That not rushing people does work. So another thing is consistency, focus, and accountability. And Hal talked about the importance of follow-up. For me, getting people on to talk to is not such a big hassle like follow-up. I struggle so much with follow-up because I feel like I'm bugging people, like I'm, so I don't want, sometimes I'll shy off from calling someone or sending a text because I feel like, oh, now they think I'm just gonna bother them. But really, that's not the case. Sometimes people, life comes, and they're busy, they're doing other things. When you send that text, you remind them that we had a conversation going on, and they'll text back. So follow-up is key. And I can tell you, I am struggling on that, but I am working on it. Then I do have affirmations that, oh my gosh, you guys, I don't think you know Dr. Lisa very well. When she tells you to do something, you better do it, because she doesn't forget. So something I hope that she forgets, so she doesn't ask me. So one time she gave me this homework, and I told her that I don't have an excuse. And she said I wasn't looking for an excuse. I was like, oh, oops. So she keeps me on my toes, and she keeps me going, but that's what I need. My personality and me as a person, I need a mentor like that. Because if I have a mentor that lets me slack off, I will slack off. I'm telling you, I know myself. So she doesn't let me do that. So affirmations, just because I have so many limiting beliefs, there are so many things that stop me, and I'm working on that, and I'm using the affirmations just so they can help me get over that. And just using your upline, because I'm new in the business, I'm new, I don't know much about the product, but anytime I have a question, I'll reach out to her either by text, or I'll just give her a call and she'll answer the question. So, and that's really it. Just staying consistent, just keep the focus. I wasn't sure that I was gonna make it to city. And then as we talked yesterday, I told Lisa, I said, Lisa, if I don't make it, it's okay, because I have another month. And she says, yeah, you're right. It's okay. You have another month, but can you tell me the reason why you're not going to make it? You have a couple of people on the line that you're going to talk to. So, and then she tells me, this one tomorrow will come in a gold pack. This one will come in. And I was like, inside, I'm just like laughing, because I'm like, that's not going to happen. And that's exactly what happened, and pushed me to city. So just believing in myself and believing in the work that I'm doing. And so it can also be less work for Lisa right now, because she's having to do a lot in both coaching me and coaching the people that I'm bringing in, and just helping me through this. It's just been such an honor her being my upline and working with her. And I'm learning every day, and I'm so grateful. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. So here's what I want to say. That's awesome, Mercy and Lisa. And what I want to say for us, like, we try to do a lot of teaching on our call to elevate people. But what you all just heard, like, this is going to be posted, Nate's going to get it posted, but what this 7, 8, 9 minutes, whatever it's been between Lisa and Mercy, is some of the best nuggets of teaching that any of us could hear. I mean, it's absolutely it's everything we try to do every day, every week, every Sunday night. These 9 minutes between these two women is what we want everyone to do. It is literally the most duplicatable way to approach this business and, frankly, life. So I just hope everyone on this call listens to this again on the recording, takes it to heart, takes notes, really listens deep to what they've said, because it is this simple and it is this real. So I just want to point out a couple of things. Lisa Hall said social proof, and she described that as upline other people's testimonies, videos, pulling other people in. Don't rely upon just your own words. Social proof is everybody else speaking the same thing you are, and using your team to do that. Mercy said she gets, she wants to sign them up today. And Lisa's like, oh, they'll come in. Let's give them a little time. But what you guys may have missed is the number 30. 30 people at least that Mercy got in front of Lisa Hall or Lisa Bell Henson.
I had a very small role.
In less than a month. 30 people. That's a very important number for you all to hear. And it's not just the number 30, but that number wasn't 3, was it? Or 5, or none, or 1. It was 30. And so the huge effort that both of you have put in. And so back to kind of the original fast track, she had till 11 o'clock Central on their time. I guess it would be more like 9
p.m.
9 p.m. Pacific, to get those numbers over the 3,000 mark. And we were on the phone because of Lisa Hall reaching out to us on Saturday morning, her talking to Mercy with the birthday party and family events. And we're like, hey, we're going to get her the 900 BV. We're going to find it somewhere between this morning and 9 o'clock Pacific tonight. It's going to happen. All of us working together, because she's going for this. But her 30 days ended on Tuesday. But because the end of the tracking period was Saturday, she had a few extra days during the fast track to pull this together. So that's why when someone starts and they want to go fast, get them going in their first few days to run for that in their first month, whatever rank it is. And that's exactly what happened here.
And Mercy, not everybody has heard your story. So could you just kind of tell us a little bit about just the product results that have really convinced you to work with Zalise?
Yeah, I was coaching with Lisa Hall. We actually met in a different coaching online. And just in short, I've had a life events that caused me to have really bad anxiety and panic attacks. And my panic attacks and the anxiety was causing me to go, it was so bad that I would think I was dying, and I call 911 and go to the emergency room. Sometimes one time on the road, I'm calling 911 at home. I mean, it was so bad, so bad. And I was taking my doctor prescribed anxiety medication. And every time, because when I go to the ER, she would get the report and should actually call me and say, I've seen you've had about 3 visits to the ER. So we're gonna up your anxiety medication, and she would do that. So it just was so bad. And one day during the coaching call, I had an anxiety attack while Dr. Lisa was on that call. So at the end she just asked me if I was open to try some products that she thought might help me. And I was like, sure. And she sent the products to me, and she's like, I'm just sending them to you for free. I'm not gonna charge you because I don't know if they're gonna help you. So try them and tell me how you feel. And these are like I took them for 3 days, and I was getting panic attacks. These are every day, if not 5 out of 7 days. Sometimes mild, sometimes severe, just they would just range. But at least almost every day I would have an episode. So she sent me the products, and in 3 days, I remember I was sitting at the couch and asking my husband, I said, I don't think I've had a panic attack in the last 3 days. And he goes, I don't think you have, So, and I said, maybe it's the products that I've been taking. I was like, maybe it must be. Anyway, so after like 3 more days, I realized that it was the product because I didn't have any more panic attacks. So it's been this is my 9th week taking the product, and I have had only 1 panic attack, and it was actually very mild. And I took 2 drops of Bliss, and I was able to just calm down after like an hour. So I haven't had ER visit. I actually went to my doctor, and because I went to my doctor about 4 weeks after taking this product, and but she had seen all the history of the ER visits, the just everything that was on my records, and she said, I want to double your anxiety medication. I said, no. I said, I don't need it. She said, I think you need it with all these visits to the ER. I was like, no, these products that I'm taking have enough. And she's like, as a doctor, I still recommend that I give you more. And I said, if I need it, I'll come back. I'll let you know. So clearly, I haven't needed it. And I haven't had any attacks, and I feel so much happier, like in a better space. Just not being afraid, because I used to be so afraid of getting those panic attacks that they would come because I'm so afraid of getting them. So it's just a vicious cycle. So yeah, that's my story in short. But they've changed my life. Those products.
Mercy, tell us exactly what products that you started with and what products you're taking.
So Dr. Lisa, when she sent me the free products, she sent me the Bliss, the CBG, the CBG Bliss. And then she sent me the R&R and the Ultra Dream. She sent me 5 products. So I didn't know what they were. I didn't know much. I didn't know how much they costed until I started doing the business. I was like, oh my gosh, do you want me to pay you? And she's like, no. Like now that I know how much. And so, but she said, I wasn't doing it for you to join the business. I was doing completely something different. I was not looking for a business. But she's just looking to help me because she saw what I was going through. So she's not so much interested in, I mean, she didn't really think I was going to be interested in the business. She just wanted to help me. So those are the products she sent me, and I'm still taking those. I mean, I've added a few other things on top of that, but.
That's awesome, Mercy. Well, she must really like you.
She does. I think she does. Sometimes she gets a little annoyed because I don't listen. I don't follow directions very well sometimes.
You've done something pretty much following directions. You've done really well. And
you're so delightful, Mercy. I mean, we just love, I feel like we've known you for a long time. I just thank you for being so candid. You're so professional. I know that you've had challenges this month personally, and your experience and what you've learned is helping us learn from you. So I want to bring Lisa Hall on the line now, and just Lisa Hall, you're so amazing. I've known that for a long time. I just want you to come to the line, and I want you to share just your Zalise story, Lisa. And a lot of people just don't know you. Would you just share just kind of why they don't know you and how you kind of kept a little bit of a low profile? But we would love to know the Lisa Hall story.
Well, you're picking a difficult weekend for that. You realize what weekend it is, right?
I do.
So yeah, 9 years ago yesterday, I was a happy-go-lucky ER doctor, taking care of my parents and traveling the world and doing medical missions all over the world. And I was diagnosed, I got very ill, and in about 90 days, I lost over 100 pounds. And I had had cancer at 26, so I kind of knew what it was, but the doctors had trouble finding it this time. And so when I finally got diagnosed, it was stage 4 pancreatic cancer. It was in 7 systems of my body, including my brain and spinal fluid, my lungs, my liver, obviously my pancreas, and so on, my bones. It was all in my spine. And I was diagnosed at Stanford because my local physician had done all kinds of tests and hadn't been able to find anything. And from day one, I kept telling him, I remember this feeling. I know it's cancer. And he actually at one point told me that I was having a hysterical menopause reaction. I fought to lose weight all my life. So I was just looking at it and going, I just lost 100 pounds, sir. But anyway, long and short, I was diagnosed at Stanford. They sent my pathology to Mayo and MD Anderson, subsequently had actually Zoom calls with them. And they all told me that I had 90 days to live, and there was really nothing at all they could do for me. And so, at first, just like Western doctors do, sometimes, unfortunately, they really need some training in how to talk to people. But anyway, that's coming from a doctor, so I'm allowed to criticize. But, they took away my hope. But I was lucky because my son's a doctor, my daughter's a PA. And, they said, we understand if you don't want to, because they were trying to get me to do chemo and all kinds of stuff, even though they told me it wasn't curative, it was palliative. I might live till Christmas. That's what they told me. And this was in July. Anyway, long and short of it is I had always, I'd always been the doctor that wasn't really into pushing drugs, and I say that seriously because being an ER doctor, everybody that came in with a cold wanted an antibiotic, right? Which is silly because colds are viral and antibiotics are not going to help you. It's like kind of already been that person anyway, and I'd done tons and tons of research because of my history. And so I was actually blessed enough to be in a position where I could go out of the country and seek care. And so yesterday I just had my 9th anniversary of my 90-day death sentence. So it's a pretty good anniversary. And so during that time though, I tell people, just because thank you guys, I really appreciate that. Just because you do alternative things, it doesn't mean you still don't have consequences. I mean, there's similar things in some of the things that you do to cure cancer that cause complications. So one of my complications was kidney failure. I was on dialysis for a while and nutritionally was able to get off of dialysis, which the Western doctors tell you is impossible. But again, I proved that they're not exactly always accurate. And the other thing that I had was my bone marrow just stopped working. And so in about 2016, I started having to have transfusions, first of all every month and then every week. And in the summer of 2018, I was having transfusions every single week because I wasn't making anything, no white cells, no red cells. I wasn't making any platelets. I mean, absolutely nothing. And so I was getting plasma, platelets, and the whole thing every single week. And the problem with doing that long term is that you start to build up resistance to other people's blood and you start having really bad reactions. So I would have a transfusion, my heart might stop, I might stop breathing. I was having anaphylactic reactions to other people's blood. And so I knew I was not long for this world. And my little mother, who's, she had been living with me for 25 years, and she was 86 years old or 84 years old at that time. And I just couldn't imagine leaving her. There was no one else really that could step in and take care of her like I did. And she was starting to get Alzheimer's, and she had taken care of my dad for 14 years. And I just couldn't bear the idea that she would go to a nursing home or something. And so I started getting really desperate, and I started reading journal articles from all over the world. And I wasn't able to have a bone marrow transplant because everybody goes, well, why didn't you just have a bone marrow transplant? Because the cancer treatment had ruined my immune system. And that's why I never went back to work as a doctor. I had no immune system at all. And so I read this really obscure article. And I honestly, during the time that I was a physician in my research, I wouldn't have taken this article seriously because the research was done on only 100 people, but it was out of Germany. And it actually showed really significant results in people that could have bone marrow regeneration, which again, the Western doctors say can't happen, from CBD. So the next thing I did obviously was I was going to try everything, right? So I came back, I researched the US, I found the #1 scientifically based CBD company in the US, and it was Zelise. And when I seen that, I went, didn't I see Lisa post something? Because Lisa and I knew each other from a previous company. Didn't I see her post something on her Facebook, right? And so I called her and I said, I'm not interested in the business. I'm, dealing with all this stuff. I just want, I want to try it. And so I signed up in July of 2018. Within 6 months, I was down to only having an occasional transfusion. And in the year of 2020, from January 20 till now, I've only had one transfusion, and that was platelets because I got COVID last year because I don't have an immune system, and the virus ate my platelets. So, now I'm not going to tell you I'm cured and that I have a bone marrow like you guys have now, but I'm alive. I'm alive, so 3 years later, it's working great for me, and I don't need transfusions anymore. So, that's kind of how I got here. And then the funny thing was, life is like that. And that's why I tell people follow up, because I've owned real estate since I was 20 years old. I own a lot of real estate, a lot of apartment complexes. And I never thought I would be in a situation where I would want to change things up about what I was doing, or actually go back to work, because I was kind of semi-retired. But this last year, I don't know if you guys remember this during COVID, but the government said, okay, people, you don't have to pay the rent on your apartment and they can't evict you. Well, I own 8 apartment complexes. So, and I don't mind one bit if the person lost their job, had COVID, single parent that had to stay home with their kids. I wouldn't mind at all if they weren't paying the rent. But unfortunately, people use that loophole to not pay the rent, even though they never missed a day of work or had COVID or had any of the complications of COVID in their life. And so I've been losing $37,500 a month since last April. So if you can imagine that, it's kind of a little bit of a, and the only reason that I've survived that is because I own my properties free and clear, because, they've been paid off over 40 years, and you can't do real estate like that in a year or two. It takes forever. And so I knew, because I'd done this business before, before I got cancer, and that I was very successful at it. I knew that you could make really good money. And so I started eavesdropping. I started coming to the Freedom Call and to Lisa's calls way back last July. And I told her I was interested again. I had some, issues that I had to take care of first, like how to figure out to pay the property tax on all my property and stuff. But I said, I want to do this. So I've kind of been eavesdropping for a long time. And, the Lord is always there when you need him. And in April, I decided I was going to go for this business, that I had some options that I could figure out how to work it into my lifestyle. And I met Mercy the last week of April. And when you have somebody that you can run with that wants something as bad as you want it and is willing to work as hard as you are, Mercy has just proven that all the way through. So my advice is just manifest your future. This business is hard. I'm not going to tell you it's not hard, but do you want the hard of working to fulfill your dreams, or do you want the hard of being a failure at fulfilling your dreams because you weren't willing to work hard enough? So just manifest your future, guys. It can happen with this company. Believe me, I had, 3 financial advisors look at the plan for this company because I knew what I was doing, and I wanted to be sure that I could make the money that was promised. And I know I can, and I know I will, and I know Mercy will, and Frida's on the call with us too, and she's just getting started. And we're going to change the world because we all have a purpose and a dream of what we want to do for other people, and it's going to happen. So thank you guys for everything, and thank you, Mercy, for wanting to run with me and Frida too.
Oh,
Wow.
man. Oh,
I mean,
man.
like, seriously, between you and
Woo.
Mercy, it makes me want to cry.
Well, the whole night, this whole, Eric and Kristin, who we've known for a while, and just they've overcome some things, guys. Everybody does, but there's some really good teaching points tonight. And Lisa and I really hadn't done any of it. It's been you guys, and so
Lisa,
anyway,
thank you for
thank
being
you both, all
being
of you.
vulnerable. I mean, you're so brilliant. I just I consider it a gift to get a chance to work with you. You have really crushed everything you've ever touched in life, and anybody who survived a near-death experience like you have, obviously you have so much to teach us. One of the things, Lisa, and we don't have a ton of time, but I know that you've been creating volume in some creative ways. Do we have just a minute for you to kind of share a little bit about some of the things that you've done that I really wasn't even familiar with, just to kind of give people a taste of one of the ways that you're getting people on product?
So that goes back to that whole building a relationship. And so, this lady that we signed up with the pack yesterday is a perfect example. I just asked her about her family and what she did, because she was she was cold market for Mercy. So usually Mercy gives me some information about the people and I use that. But, sometimes if it's your cold market, it's somebody that you met, you don't really have that information. And so I asked her about her situation, and, I asked her about her family, and she's a single mom. She's a teacher. She has a son in college that interestingly has anxiety attacks. And Mercy had no idea about that when she brought her on the call. And, she also takes care of her mother and had taken care of her grandfather, who had Parkinson's and dementia and prostate cancer. And so, I picked that portion up when I'm listening to her and Mercy talk, and when I was talking to her. And I kind of go to a point where I like talk to people about what they need. And because, I got told this when I was in medical school, most doctors will come in and talk to you for 15 seconds, or let you talk for 15 seconds, and they interrupt you because they know everything and they know all the answers, right? And I had a dean in medical school that told me, if you'll just be quiet for 5 minutes and let people talk, they'll tell you their symptoms and they'll usually tell you their diagnosis. Now, obviously, they're not going to always know the technical name for it, but I found out through 30 years of practicing medicine that that's so true. Your patient will tell you if you just listen to them. And it's the same way here. If you'll just listen, the person will tell you. They'll tell you what they need, and they'll tell you. And then once you're there, so then you're not just treating, or not talking to just, I get this mixed up. Sometimes I forget my doctor part, but you're not just talking to the person about what products they need, but what products their family members need, right? And so, like with the person we were talking to yesterday, she just got diagnosed with diabetes. She has hypertension. Her mom has diabetes and hypertension. Her grandfather had Parkinson's disease, and on and on. So I introduce, honestly, at that point, I introduce the products that are most important for them. I don't start with CBD, I'll be honest with you, because you can buy, we all know that our CBD is 100,000 times better than anybody else's, but they don't know that. So I start with products that they can't get anywhere else. I start with products like R&R and Bliss and Rev, and I try to explain to them in very generic terms. I don't use medical terms with them, and I try to explain how, our products are different and that you can't get them anywhere else. I make them, I create that lost situation. You can't get these from anyone else but us. And so that's one way I do it. The other thing that I think is important is just really explaining to people how, like you can sign them on and it's just a customer. Then by the time they pay the $99 and then pay for their products, they're going to spend more than a bronze kit. And I tell them my story, how I used the products for 3 years. And thankfully, Lisa talked me into, actually going as a business builder. And then because I had all those years, you build up people underneath you on your team. And so things like that. So I talked to them about that. And so, because they can always fall back to a customer. That's fine. Right. But actually, if you buy at least 3 products with the company, you're going to spend more than the $343 it costs to purchase the bronze kit. And so you have to not be afraid to just put it out there. And I always tell people, and Mercy will tell you this, I don't push people anywhere. Right. I tell them that the gold is the best buy because you get all this extra product and you can either sell it or use it for your family or whatever. But I never push anybody into anything. I meet everybody exactly where they are. And it's just a matter of just kind of figuring out how to put your volume and where to put it and to make it work in your company, because this is your company, this is your business. But if you meet people where they are, then it all falls in place. And Mercy's a perfect example. I know Mercy was very impatient with me at times and felt like I could have closed a lot faster. But had I closed a lot faster, I probably would have just sold some products. And instead, she doesn't have a single customer underneath her. Every single person at City in her first month is a business builder.
That's so great.
That is just awesome. What a great team that you guys are.
We got to get Frida to City next.
Frida, you're next. How exciting is that? Well, I don't know if you guys can see the chat, but we have had a lot of comments.
So many responses, so beautiful, so affirming from everyone on the team.
So you guys, let's just do a little Zoom wave for Mercy, for Lisa, for Frida, for that great team. Lisa, thank you for sharing your amazing story that makes me cry every time that I hear it. Thank you for trusting me enough to not recruit you to join my team as a customer. How many of you guys wish that you had somebody like Lisa Hall that just wanted to use your product?
And the thing is, you probably do. We said, go back and re-sponsor the people that started with you some time ago. That's kind of what's happened. And so Stephen Thompson today said about the Atlanta area, hey guys, go back and re-sponsor those people. If they want in to join you now, great. If not, let's just keep building. It's gonna grow with or without people. So let's go do it.
Absolutely. So,
and by the way, Fall Fest, guys, if you haven't signed up, tickets are going fast, seats are going fast. I'm surprised there's still seats, honestly. Yeah. And I don't know if there will be after tomorrow night, but.
And you guys, there's 3 hotels. I mean, we've already got, I think we reserved at Hilton Garden Inn. We just tried to do the cheapest hotel that they had. And
we're driving in, we're going to be there a few days. Those of you that can get there, we understand shuttles to the facility, to the airport, to the hotels from the airport, inexpensively. So, and it's really close to the airport, the event is. Some of you actually are coming in on Friday and leaving on, pretty early. Some are going to go Friday to Sunday. Others are coming in before that. We don't want anybody to buy a ticket that's not really serious about going, just to kind of hold it, because they're so limited. We wouldn't want, we just wouldn't want there to be any empty seats because somebody bought and held the ticket out. But we do want you to commit and go.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and pause or stop the recording here.